So today we're gonna make hot sauce, and the first ingredient is peppers, and I have a mix of fresh cayenne peppers, as well as some larger red peppers, and then we also have some of our homegrown peppers and some that we bought, and some of them are a little dried out, some of them are fresh, and we just mix them. You have a couple of cloves of garlic. I normally put in one fresh tomato, but I don't have a fresh tomato, so I'm going to try with a half of a can of tomato. And then I put in some carrots just for some thickness and for color and for a little sweetness. And this is a red bell pepper, and that just is good color too. And then you have, this is Apfelessig, this is apple vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is also good. And then any kind of vinegar that you can use. You can use regular white vinegar, but I think that the apple one gives it a little bit sweeter flavor and it tastes really good. And we have boiling water here, and it's all ready. So we're gonna turn this on and boil all the vegetables until they are soft. So we're gonna boil this until all the vegetables are soft, and it probably takes more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes. As far as I've seen, it doesn't matter if they're dried peppers or fresh peppers, because when the water kind of rehydrates them, and a lot of them still have seeds in them, and more seeds means more spicy, and yeah, I didn't really take out so many seeds, so I left it pretty spicy. And this is the pepper, this is the sauce from last time. It's pretty red, but it's really delicious. And it's not too spicy. So I usually try to check it with a knife once after 10 minutes, 15 minutes passes, and I stab the vegetables and make sure they're really soft. And I'll probably wait a little while to add the tomato because it's already pretty soft. Okay, so it's been boiling for more than 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes now. And everything's pretty soft, so you can see how soft it is. I can take a knife and mostly smush things. The skins will never get completely soft, but they will be taken out by the strainer. And then I did remove all the tops of the peppers, like all the hard parts, because they taste maybe bitter. So then you add in the vinegar, and this is apple vinegar. You're supposed to add like half a cup, but this is a big batch, so it's probably going to be 1 cup. So then we'll put in some wine vinegar, maybe a little extra. And the more vinegar, it takes away the spiciness of the peppers. So, and then this is a little balsamic. So I feel like that will taste really good, but I only put in a little. Maybe a little more. And then we're gonna boil it a little more, and then we're gonna blend it with a stick blender. So I've been stick blending it on low. You have to be careful because what they normally do is they cool it down. They let it cool down, and then they use the blender because this is really hot and you could hurt yourself. But I was doing it slowly, and it's now pretty smooth. You can still see some seeds in there, but they will come out when we strain it. And we still need to season it, so that comes later. Okay, so now it's boiling after I've blended it, and it's without its seasonings, which are over here. And it puts off a lot of steam, so I usually have the fan on. But what we have to do is, this is too thin. So it's too soupy, too watery. So you can see that it's too much water, and it needs to boil off a little bit to thicken up. So I'm gonna let it boil for a little while to make it thicker, and I'll wait until this is more like a sauce, a thicker sauce. Okay, so I have added this seasoning. It's kind of like Italian seasoning with basil in there and stuff. What is it? What else is in there? Yeah, rosemary, thyme, basil, margarine, and these things. And it just added a good flavor last time, so I did that. I added some celery salt, because you need to add salt, and I thought also sometimes we just add celery. and so I added celery salt. And then the last time this was really, really good. So it's chopped up thyme. And so I added these three, and then I've let it boil off so that it's much thicker. So now you can see it's quite a bit thicker than before. And this scum on the top, you can scrape it off and put it in a bowl. But you can also, when it gets strained, it will come out. And the next step is going to be to let it cool down quite a bit before we can strain it and then put it into bottles. Okay, so the next part, it's cooled off, and it's not totally cool, but it's cool enough. And then I scoop some out and put it in the strainer. And then you catch all the seeds and all the skins and all these hard bits that you don't want in your sauce. So once I get this going, then I'll pour some in, and then I use a spoon or this thing to like move it around so that the sauce goes through. And then you'll see, I'll just demonstrate. Right at the end, you get all this pulp that's left over. And then you can squeeze it a little to get some of the juice out, and then later you can just throw that away. So I'll do that for the whole batch, and then I'll put it into bottles. So then we have these bottles, and we can just take scoops of it. You can see it's really fine now, and it does still have some texture to it, but no seeds and no chunks of anything else like skins or anything like that. So then we'll just put it in the bottle. And that's it. So we got 3 bottles out of that whole thing, and there's a little extra left over actually. You should taste it to make sure that the seasoning is good, like maybe you want to add a little more salt. And then the other thing that we noticed is that after they're in the fridge for a little while, like a week or so, the flavor changes. So they might not taste, for me, they taste much better after they've been in the fridge for a while. And the other thing is that these bottles we bought from IKEA, they were like 99 cents for one of them or something like that. They were very cheap, regardless. So, yeah.